Hey y'all, I am back with another video. This one is about erectile dysfunction in young men. Not old men, young men. That's right, young men experience erectile dysfunction. Now, there may be a couple of people watching who don't know what erectile dysfunction is because it sounds like a math problem. Sound like some real difficult math too. 7 inches plus 3 inches. No, I'm just playing. But it's not a math problem. It is a penis problem. And like I said, it's one that does affect young men. When you hear about erectile dysfunction, which is basically when your sexual organs are not able to deliver, when you are not able to maintain a firm, hard erection, that is erectile dysfunction. And this is something that's very typical now, and I think it's something that really always has been with men under 40. I bring this up for two reasons. Number one, as I always say, it's because we don't have these types of conversations in the Black community about sex and sexuality. And two, very few of us are very open and honest about this. You go to a hookup and you aren't able to perform, or you just aren't there, you aren't able to connect, and your penis ain't able to get hard during the hookup. Very few people will call a friend and say, child, I was over here and I was just over here struggling with a wiggly worm. And it brings on a lot of anxiety for people who deal with it, because everybody that you are with in the bed is not going to understand that your penis can't get hard sometimes. Okay? Every now and then you might run across somebody who's realistic about it, but in this day and age, especially when we compare our sexual encounters to what we see online, okay, and what you see online, especially with a lot of these independent adult content creators, and they're closer to who we really are as people who are having sex, normally, it really does put a lot of pressure on you. But in these videos, every now and then in these videos, you do see it actually, but it's not something that's highlighted, and it's not something that we really have conversations around. Right? Like we may see a limp dick. You might see somebody who clearly they can't get it all the way up, but they're still making these videos. They're making this content. Okay? Because when the bills got to be paid, the bills got to be paid. Whether your dick can't get hard or not, they be talking to that dick like, bitch, we got to keep the lights on. Okay, so it's something that does affect younger men, and like I said, it can be very embarrassing, and it can cause a lot of anxiety. It can cause a lot of other performance issues, and of course it can affect your confidence. When you hear about erectile dysfunction, the first thing you think about is them old men who got to peel off that SSI check and rub all up on your leg in their Cadillac, listen to Frankie Beverly and Maze and talking about how if it was back in 85, they would break your back. But see, these old men, they have accepted it. And I think because they are aware, a lot of older men have had this issue and have had to cross this bridge, and they accept it and they go take supplements. These old men, they will run and they will get them some Viagra real quick. They will go up to that gas station and they'll get one of them rhino pills real quick. And I think you're supposed to take one rhino pill every 3 days or something like that. But they be popping 2 and 3. And they be on you, they be having all kind of heart palpitations and stuff, sweating on you, got Sade blasting in the background. But these old men out here breaking backs. And these young dudes are out here nervous because their bodies are changing. A lot of our bodies are changing as young men under 40, but still, we're not in our 20s anymore. And I think I've said this in another video, there are also some 20-year-olds who deal with this too. Now, when you talk about erectile dysfunction, it can occur for a bunch of different reasons, ranging from simple anxiety. Sometimes you might be in the bed with somebody that you really find attractive, somebody that you really want to impress. And generally, you may not have these issues, but you might find yourself having these issues when you get in certain sexual situations, like you might be in a threesome. And I think threesomes are fabulous, but there also is a lot of pressure in there to deliver. There's also like a lot of anxiety around finding balance in it, and just a whole bunch of things around performance that can affect your ability to get hard. Okay, so that's normal, and that's just the way that your body responds, because sometimes anxiety can affect your ability to perform in the bedroom. Also, if you lack confidence in the bedroom, that can affect your ability to maintain a hard, firm erection. There are also some other things that a lot of young men overlook that do affect your sex drive and your ability to maintain a hard, firm erection. Some of the stuff is simple stuff that can affect your body can impact your body on a great level, like too much sugar, too much caffeine, too much grease, too much cocaine, okay, smoking too much weed, and smoking too many cigarettes and things like that. Even though I think if you do want to have a great sexual experience, sometimes weed does come through. Weed can take you to the next level. But if it becomes a thing where you start to depend on it, it can affect your ability to maintain a hard, firm erection. Also, cigarette smoke can affect it because it affects your circulation, and that can affect the blood flow that goes down to your penis, okay? Also, there are some men who have larger penises, and if you notice, sometimes those penises can't get all the way hard because they have circulation issues and other health problems. And another thing that we don't talk enough about is anxiety. We don't talk enough about the anxiety in there to deliver because, as I said before, we are not having sex the way we did 10 years ago. Sex now, we feel like it's something that we have to show up. There are a lot of expectations in there. We don't show up in there just to have a great time anymore. It's like we expect this Cirque du Soleil experience. And I'm not one of them people who you ain't gonna get it from me because my knees be hurting too bad for that. And if I don't got my little CBD ointment or something like that, I'm not even gonna mess with you because I'm gonna be up in there trying to do my stuff and my knees gonna be up in there sounding like a bowl of cereal. And I don't got time for it. You know, so we really don't have enough honest conversations about the way our bodies change, about the way our bodies respond and sometimes don't respond, and talk about the fact that it's totally normal, or find supplements that can make going through these sorts of processes a lot easier. One other thing that we don't talk enough and keep it real enough about is the fact that I think since sex is so much easier to find than it was a few years ago with the social media apps and the hookup apps, a lot of folks really don't understand the sort of intimacy that really happens during sex, and the fact that for some people you really don't understand that you may need a deep emotional fulfilling connection where you can be vulnerable and truly connected and trust the person that you are sleeping with. But we don't have enough open conversations about sex. We see sex online all the time. We talk about sex, but we don't talk about how we are affected as individuals by sex and how that impacts our ability to sometimes show up and deliver in the bedroom. So I just wanted to share some of my views on it and really, we use this word normalize, but really normalize the fact that sometimes you might be 25 and you might struggle from time to time with maintaining an erection for whatever reason. But it is worth really taking a deep dive into, not that type of deep dive because you got to get it hard first. No, but it really is worth looking into, saying what is your particular reason if this is something that you deal with. I know for me, it's because I like going there. Okay, I like to have a good time. I like to do some kinky stuff, but I also prefer to have at least somewhat of an emotional connection with the person, intellectual, emotional connection with the person. And I'm not one of these people who can show up on an app and just run up in there with somebody that I don't know, because I got too many questions, and them questions is gonna affect the blood flow. I'm like, did this person wash? What is this gonna be like? Did this person got some spirits on them that's gonna jump off on me while we doing this? I have a whole lot of questions, and then that creates anxiety. So I know the things that affect me, and I know the types of things that I need to do to keep my body in working order and how to get my body to respond. And this is something that a lot more men need to take the time to look into with our bodies, because it's all about self-care and really being aware of our bodies and being able to have this conversation. So Look into supplements as well. You can take horny goat weed. Horny goat weed is really good for performance. Zinc is really good for performance, and there are a whole bunch of other supplements. And sometimes it just means cutting certain things out of your diet, or taking the time to find somebody who you are mentally compatible with, who will allow you to show up the way you need to. And being willing to have these conversations so we can get to the root of our different issues. And then sometimes you might just need to go see your doctor and say, hey doc, I'm 30, but I need some Viagra or some Cialis. What you got? I'm just saying I wanted to have this conversation. Share any of your experiences with me, how you deal with this situation if you have it. And please like and share the video, turn on your notifications. And if you have Instagram, come over and follow me on Instagram at SampsonMcCormick. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.